So let's go ahead and move on to the first question here. First question is, who are some small youth group curriculum creators? This is a good question because the winner of the curriculum, races, right, often goes to the biggest. The biggest groups, the ones with the most reach, the ones with the most marketing, and then we just tend to forget everybody else. Now, I am a curriculum creator. I write curriculum. That's part of what I do. And I'm going to show you there was I saw some ones I just Googled. Just Google, youth ministry curriculum, and there are going to be those who are at the top of the Google page. That's not necessarily because they're the best for you. Every curriculum, even mine, is not best for everybody. When you're choosing a curriculum, and when I say curriculum, I'm talking about like a sermon series or even if it's an individual message or, if you're doing something very processed by levels and those kind of things. You know what? They're not all designed for every church. They will tell you that it is, but it is not. You have to be then discerning as a youth pastor to say, okay, is this really for me? Is this really for my group? Is this something I really want to, is this the track I want my kids to run on? Or is there someplace else to, some way to be able to do that? And so let me just show you, I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to show you mine too, by the way. There's no shame in my game. I don't mind you showing mine, but I'm going to show you a few others first, okay? So in doing this, let me show you a couple here. All right, so this here is Youth Pastor Co. And Youth Pastor Co. is a curriculum. They do more than that. I'll kind of walk through it here. But Youth Pastor Co. It's youthpastor.co is what it is. And so basically you have options. You have sermon prep, media needs, yearly planning. All sermon series packages include, you're going to get sermon series graphics, sermon builder curriculum, sermon bumper video, small group material, social media graphics. A membership to Youth Pastor Co. will help you grow your ministry, right? It tells you what it's going to do. Now, the difference here is, let's go ahead and just get access now because that's going to tell you how much it's going to cost. So you get 20% off by joining Premium with coaching. And once again, let me just say, I have not used this curriculum. This is just me kind of just eyeballing it. There's no question that some of the material is going to be good. The question is it good for you? And is it good for your budget? So here you have $400 a year. There's not a lot of I will say this, that small churches, $400 a year is a lot for curriculum. Okay, it's basically you're looking at, what is it, $30 a month, which if you average it out, and your church can probably handle something like that. And then you have premium memberships, which is $797 a month, and that's closer to like $75 a month, and you get online communities and you get all those things. And by the way, none of this is sponsored. Nobody's contacted me. Nobody said, Paul, if you show this, we'll give you some money or free curriculum. Don't need it. Don't want it. It's not my jam. So now listen, if people want to throw money at me to talk about their products, oh yes, I will. But I will always tell you when that is the case. This is not the case. These are other names in the field of curriculum that you may not be aware of that I want to make you aware of. Okay. And if you have questions, by the way, throughout this about any curriculum, things like that, questions about curriculum, happy to answer them. Have written enough curriculum, have bought enough curriculum. I've been around the block a couple of times. So these are what you're going to get, right? So you average it out to about $40 a month, but I don't know. I don't know what you're getting. You probably have access to everything and you kind of build it yourself. I don't think you get, a bunch of stuff. So the question is what's in there going to be for your youth ministry? Is it going to connect with your kids? I don't know. That's something you'd have to find out. Then there's a company called Multiply Curriculum. And Multiply Curriculum is good advertising, by the way. It's good copy. Both of these sites have good copy. They're telling you exactly what you want to hear here. You're not the average youth pastor, and we're not the average curriculum. Okay. It's good stuff. And so you have, you want to stay relevant, save time, reach students, and then talking about ministry evolution. Our approach, most curriculum starts by giving answers. We start with asking questions. What does the Bible say? What do our students need? What's the bottom line? What's my next step? And then it's time to multiply. So it's time to multiply your ministry, become a member, download the curriculum, reach more students. Now, here's where I'll have well, it's not a contention. I don't want to say it's contentious. Here's where I have a difference in this. I don't think curriculum, the lessons are good. It's not the curriculum. The curriculum is kind of the conduit, right? But you could write your own curriculum and do exactly this. You could reach more students writing your own curriculum. You could reach more students in designing your own programs, right? You don't have to buy something from somebody else. Curriculum is a way, right? It's a way. It's not the way to reach more students. If you want to reach more students, we'll go preach the gospel. Preach the gospel always. You're right. Share the gospel. These are just ways of interacting with students. Okay. So I think we get hung up about curriculum. Do I have the right curriculum? Yes, if you have a Bible, you have the right curriculum. Okay. If you have a Bible, you have the right curriculum. And you can write your own messages. It's perfectly okay. There's no reason why you can't. Yes, I understand there's time savers. Yes, I understand that if you have a thing and you can make it your own. Absolutely. No question. I guess I come from a place where I say, look, that we can become so curriculum conditioned that curriculum's the answer to our problem, that the reason our youth ministry isn't growing is because of the curriculum. Our youth ministry we're not making disciples because we don't have the right curriculum. And I'm just saying, there's a lot more going on in your church than curriculum. There's a lot of other dynamics. There's a lot of other things happening that have nothing to do with the curriculum. You could have the best curriculum. You could have the best speaker. You could have the best facilities and still not be growing, because there's churches that are exactly like that. And there are other dynamics. So I guess my caution to you is, regardless of the curriculum you're choosing, I think you got to dig down deeper and ask, is curriculum the thing I'm really looking for? Sometimes we grab for straws. Sometimes we grab for things and go, that's it. That's the answer. And it's not the answer. It makes us feel better to grab onto curriculum to say that's the answer, when I know that there's more going on in the world. There's more happening in our churches as to why our youth ministries and churches don't grow. Curriculum is a way, and it can give your students and it can give you personal relief knowing that you have a year's worth of curriculum and you don't have to worry about curriculum, so that you can work on the other issues and problems that you may be having. But the curriculum itself doesn't make disciples. You make disciples. Jesus didn't say, go into all the world and write curriculum and make disciples. He just said, go make disciples, right? So we have to remember that discipleship is relational, not educational. Educational is part of it, but if you're looking at education being 5%, then 95% is relational, and we still have to be in the relational phase of making disciples and not counting on the teaching to make disciples. Okay, that's the teaching's there for a reason. I understand that, but was that a rant? I'm not even sure if that was a rant or not, but I know I have strong feelings about it. But I'm not going to say it's a rant. You leave me a note, leave me a comment. Paul, this says, hey, Paul, that was a rant. You just ranted. All right, let's carry on. Let's go to my friend Dan Isvanek. Dan Isvanek has been a guest on my podcast, which is right here on the YouTube channel. And I will put a link down to his show there, and where we talk about volunteers, we talk about youth ministry, we talk about a lot of things, and good stuff. Dan's a good dude. So if you want to go check out, it's youthmenhub.com, and he has lots of resources there, right? He's got 7-Minute Sundays. He's got this curriculum here, 1 night complete, done for you youth group nights. And this is kind of my jam. This is where I go, okay, this is kind of my wheelhouse of how I construct putting together youth nights. I like thematics. So for me, I'm going to go ahead, like Sundays, I teach more expository, where we're going through 1 Timothy, whereas Wednesday nights are built around a fun type of idea. Like right now we're doing something called baby steps, which is talking about how to get from, new in the faith to mature. Basically, we're talking about maturity and maturing in the faith. And what does that look like? Well, there's games and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be on the website soon. So it's going to be in my store. So be sure to stay in contact. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel here, and you'll know when it's going to be up there. So yeah, he's got some really good things here. He's got Wired. He's got Level Up. He's got The Good Life, Welcome to the Planet. And you can see here, these prices, sure. If you bought 40 of these, you would equal out to one of the other curriculums, right? You can buy 40 of these, and I bet if they're one night, so you have 40 nights. So you could do, almost a year's worth of just one nights if that's what you want to do. And some of these are, there's games he has there, which are really good. A lot of fun there. I don't do a lot of games. I just rather write curriculum. That's my thing. I show games here on the channel. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link, probably in the show notes somewhere where I'm talking about games. I have a playlist of like 95 games, I want to say. But yeah, these are all great games that Dan has. So I would encourage you, go visit youthmenhub.com and go ahead and all the links will be in the show notes for all these places. You can judge it for yourself. Okay? Judge it for yourself. Yeah. All right. So this is my store. It's right here, gumroad.com/youthmenresources. And here you have the 50. There's the correct logo, by the way. 50 Would You Rathers. I have messages. A lot of these are free, by the way. There's a lot of free stuff on my site here. There's One Way to Mars, which talks about loneliness. It's one of my favorite messages, actually, because the idea, the issue that it's addressing is so prevalent and is evergreen. Loneliness is a thing like forever. Okay. And then it tells you what you have in there and all that. And you can see here, it's it's pay what you want, really. So you can just say, hey, I want it for $1. I want it for $2. Or say, Paul, I want to spend $5. Okay, go ahead. Now there are some things, like if I go back over here, you go back through, once again, I have Ultimate Youth Group Party List, Youth Group Checklist, this series here. Now this series, the more time and effort I put into it, the more work I put into it, I tend to, I'll charge a little bit more because the work is in there, right? You're getting a lot of stuff. So this is a Do the Math series. It's a Christian Living series, okay? And it is just $11.99, not super expensive, and then it gives you 4 weeks worth of lessons and games and activities, closing ideas, social media graphics, all the good stuff that you would expect in there, okay? So let me go back over here now. So that's my site. You're welcome to check it out for yourself. I'll put a link down to that in the show notes. So if you're looking for lessons, there's over 300 products in the store here. There's one night stuff, there's series, there's 2-week lessons, there's 3-week lessons. And you say, Paul, are you going to do type of membership? Not really. I don't think I am. Because first of all, I'm just a solo guy. A lot of these other sites that you may see have teams of people that can manage that stuff. I can't manage that stuff. I'm just a youth pastor, and I like to create the stuff that I'm creating. I want to pass on to you. A lot of it's free. Some of it costs something. And so if it's of interest to you, I hope you'll check it out. But you check out what's good for your youth group. My stuff may not be the best for your youth group, but there's stuff out there that's going to connect with you as a youth pastor, and then hopefully will connect with your students.